What's up, Breeze Nation? It's your boy P.kidd back at it again. I'm about to hit you with another one. Yeah, that was ugly. But we are now talking about the Chicago Bulls and how a couple of the moves as of late have really helped us and will help us become a playoff team, in my personal opinion. We also will talk about where we currently rank right now in the Eastern Conference. Going into this right quick, we are now the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. And I know it's the beginning of the season. I know that we're going through things, but we are 6-8 right now. But that may not be as bad as we think it is. One, although we're the 11th seed right now, we are ahead of Miami, Raptors, and the Wizards. And I just throw in the Pistons in there just because it's only one team left. But anyway, we're ahead of all of those teams. And if you asked me last year, would the Bulls at one point in the season be ahead of those teams, I would say no. Honestly, I didn't expect that. But we're going to take that. We know some of these teams are going through some things. We know the Wizards are going through a streak where they had COVID protocols, stuff like that. It is what it is at this point. Now, back to what we're talking about. We are the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference Finals. What does that mean for us, though? Does that mean that we are not going to be able to crack that top 8? Does it mean that we can't do anything? Well, I tell you what, coming off a win off the Houston Rockets, who actually looked pretty good with Oladipo, that particular trade may have actually helped us inch closer to becoming a playoff team. How so? Well, if you haven't been living on the rock for the last couple of days, we all know that the only reason Oladipo is in that particular trade is because of the whole blockbuster trade with James Harden going to the Nets, which is ridiculous now that I think about it. The Pacers are fourth, though. The Pacers are fourth. A really great defensive team, but they are now down two key people that I believe that they were actually dependent on. That one being T.J. Warren, who was injured earlier. Got injured at the beginning of the season. And now Caris LeVert, who they just traded off a key asset to acquire. And so all in all, I think that they really just got fleeced. Now, they made a move. They took a gamble. I thought it was a great gamble. And unfortunately, they got the short end of the stick. But what does that have to do with the Chicago Bulls? Well, we can anticipate them to actually slide down. Now, mind you, we're the 11th seed. They're the 4th seed. But we're only 2.5 games back from them. So let's put this into perspective. The gap between 11 and 6 ain't that wide. The gap between 11 and 8 isn't wide. In fact, we are a half game back from the Hawks, who sit at the 8th spot. And I honestly think that we can compete and be a better team than them, as they got some stuff going on over there. We have the Hornets, Magic, Hawks, Cavaliers, and the Knicks ahead of us. And with the Pacers potentially sliding down, I know for a fact that we're better than the 4 or 5 teams I just named. The Hornets, Magic, Hawks. I know that we can compete with them. I think we're better than the Cavaliers, who have like a all-star squad of centers and injuries. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, I know we're better than those teams. So if we're better than those teams, I can see that we will inch up. And with the Pacers potentially sliding down again, not wishing ill on them, but right now they're really in an interesting predicament. I think that we can also make a push for maybe 5th or 6th seed at this point. Right now it looks like we are not necessarily making any particular moves. So if we keep this core and we're just working through it and we're seeing those incremental improvements that we've seen every game. I mean, let's be honest with you. Wendell Carter Jr., although I've been really harsh and had some harsh criticism before, he's actually showing up. Gafford is actually showing up in the minutes that he's playing. Zach is doing Zach things right now. Zach has really shown that he wants to be a star in this league, and he is a star in this league, and a guaranteed certified bucket. With all of this kind of coming together, even with the pieces I personally think we should make to trade, we still have a fighting chance, because we as an organization do look better than a lot of the teams ahead of us. And that on paper we do, and if you really paid attention to some of the moves they've made or some of the issues that they've had, we look more close-knit than those organizations. So I'm anticipating for us to be able to make a push. So this is a couple things that we have to keep in mind. That's how the James Harden trade helped us, just because of how Caris LeVert, that whole injury worked out. Again, not wishing ill will on him, but it is what it is. At the same time, because the Nets are now going to catapult up to the top, and some teams are going to slide down, and a lot of the teams ahead of us aren't that much better than us anyway. I really think that if we can maintain the trend in which we've gotten better game over game, we will be a playoff team. Now, I'm hoping that we can get like 6th, 5th. I mean, I know that's kind of the wishful thinking, because the one thing I don't want to do is make the playoffs and be like the Bears and get put out the first game. And so, first series. So at this point, I would rather us not be the 8th seed, because I'm anticipating the Nets being the 1st seed. And that's an ugly. I don't want to get blown out. I don't want that problem. I want my young Bulls to actually have some confidence and stuff like that. That's the juggernaut of a team. So I'm calling it to speaking into existence right now. I'm thinking that we're gonna be a 6th seed. Hopefully we can get a team in the first round that we can actually hang with a little bit and not get completely destroyed. And so, you know, again, we bleed red, we see red, but we got to be realistic. We are not yet at the elite level of some of these other teams in the conference, but we are building, and that's all we really want with a team that's kind of been mediocre for a very long time. With Jim Boylan and all that stuff, we really want to see some progress with that. So let me know what your thoughts are, what you think. Like, share, subscribe, do all that, please. I really appreciate it. For all my P1s, listen, I'm going to actually get something custom made with all the names of those who subscribe up to 100. I'm doing that for every 100 subscribers. That's just my way of doing showing and seeing who's rocking with me from day one. So I appreciate you all rocking with me, rock with you all. Till next time, y'all.